And a very good afternoon. A very good afternoon. A very good afternoon to each and every one of you. Wherever you're joining us from, welcome to our podcast, Below the Belt. And today we are ground zero at the International Energy Conference and Expo happening in downtown Georgetown, in particular at the Guyana Marriott. You know, guys, we broadcast live from the national capital city of Georgetown. And again, I want to welcome all of you who are joining us. Welcome to each and every one of you guys. We are so privileged. We are so very privileged to have all of you joining us. And we hope that you are hearing our audio loud and clear. We're coming to you guys loud and clear. We are privileged again to be here with you. Privileged to be here with you. Good to have all of you here with us, guys. Again, wherever you are joining us from, we are joining you from the protest line, and we are at the Guyana Marriott, and we're going to be bringing the happenings here, guys, to you live and direct. We're going to be bringing the happenings here to you guys live and direct. There are a lot of persons here. Right, there are a lot of persons, scores and scores of persons, at least from my vantage point, asking for some change on this oil and gas arrangement, the oil and gas deal, to put it specifically, that we have had. You know that the oil and gas agreement was signed in 2016 with ExxonMobil. That was the latest iteration coming out from the PPC government and what they did. Some folks are of the opinion that we didn't get all that was needed, and so change is needed. And the installed regime would have said they are going to bring that change. They're going to sit down with ExxonMobil and to renegotiate the agreement, as it were. Well, we're 18 months in, nothing has been done, and we're going to be talking about some of that. We're going to be talking with some of the folks on the ground here about what is happening. So thanks for joining our international podcast. Good to see each and every one of you here with us, guys. We're gonna give all our attention here. So forgive us if we don't give you guys a shout out individually today, but you're in our thoughts. Know that you're in our thoughts. Good to have all of you guys with us, wherever you're joining us from around the world. We're going to be talking with these guys out here about what they are asking for. We know everybody out here is attacking this issue from a different standpoint. And so we're going to be talking individually with various persons on the ground here and trying to get a sense exactly what the change is that they are demanding. And again, we're so privileged to have each and every one of you, wherever you guys are joining us from around the world. But just to give you a sense of what is happening specifically, just to give you guys a sense specifically of what are some of the issues that the folks on the ground here are demanding change on. I'm going to walk you through some issues, and then we're going to try and get some of the folks on the ground here to give us their thoughts on specifically what is the change that they are asking for. Specifically, what is the change they're asking for? So, happening currently, folks, beginning this morning, we saw the opening of the Guyana Energy Conference and Expo 2022. The theme of this conference is Charting a Sustainable Energy Future, the International Energy Conference and Expo Guyana, Charting a Sustainable Energy Future. Again, the theme of the International Energy Conference and Expo is Charting a Sustainable Energy Future. Folks, wherever you're joining us from around the world, you know, we always say to you guys, share the live stream and smash that emoji button. We are ground zero this morning, lending our voice to the protest here as well. You know, there's so much room for improvement where these oil contracts are concerned. And again, so glad to have each and every one of you who are joining us from around the world. Folks, we know we have, in addition to what's happening with this energy conference, we have several persons who are joining us from overseas. And, you know, we don't want to surprise them in this way. But we got to lend our voices, guys. We got visiting with us. The president of Ghana is visiting with us. This is Nana Akufo-Addo. And we have Chandrika Prasad Santoki. Again, he's the president of Suriname, our neighbor. He's visiting as well. We have Mia Mottley, the Prime Minister of Barbados, is visiting with us as well. And we welcome them to Guyana, and we welcome them to our national capital city as well. Great to have all of you guys who are joining us from around the world. And we invite you to share our podcast. Below the belt, we're bringing you the action from ground zero. Bringing you the action from ground zero, guys. Really, really privileged to have each and every one of you with us. And we're going to be walking you through some of the issues that are at stake currently. Again, really, really glad to have all of you guys with us. Really glad to have all of you guys with us. Share the live stream for us as you guys join our international podcast, Below the Belt. And also, we want to see those emojis. Again, we are at the International Energy Conference and Expo happening at the Guyana Marriott. And this is in Kingston. If you know the real estate here in Georgetown, there is the seawall to the north, or the Atlantic to the north. And then there's everything else to the south of the city. And we welcome our international VIP and guests and patrons of the conference. Folks like Nana Akufo-Addo, the president of Ghana, and we also have visiting Mia Mottley, Prime Minister of Barbados, president of Suriname. Chandrika Prasad Santoki is visiting with us as well, and all the other dignitaries and delegates. We are welcoming them as well. Again, several issues of concerns locally, several issues of concern as regards this oil deal we have with ExxonMobil. Several issues. And, it was a Starbucks News editorial just recently, guys, that pointed out, that these folks are just here thinking about how to maximize their business opportunities, maximize their profits based on Guyana's oil and gas bonanza, to quote Starbucks News there. But again, folks want us to relook at the production sharing agreement of 2016, noting that we should get more for our oil. We should be getting more for at least the royalty. Right now we're at 2% royalty from oil production. And so folks are on the ground here saying that we should be thinking about renegotiating this PSA with ExxonMobil, and whether the administration is going to do that. Already the signals are no, they have said so specifically, but folks are still hoping with the visiting CEO of ExxonMobil that we may have the opportunity here to walk back on some of these issues. We do have the visiting CEO of ExxonMobil at the moment with us locally, and he is the CEO and chairman of ExxonMobil, Mr. Darren Wood. He is one of the dignitaries who is going to be speaking at this energy conference. And so all the more folks are lending their voices here, hoping that we could have change in this production sharing agreement of 2016. The PPP, even though they campaigned, the folks, you understand them, even though they campaigned, there was a bad deal and all of that. So they've gone in there, sitting in the seat of power, right? It seems as a good deal it seems as though it is a good deal to them, and they seem not to be willing to revisit this. But nonetheless, people power out here. People power out here today, and the folks are hoping that we get some movement on that, because they're not satisfied. They're not satisfied with the royalty we have gotten out of this deal. As yet, this 2% royalty, they're not satisfied with that, and they are hoping also that the deal is open-ended as regards their concern, rather, that the deal is open-ended as pertains to cost recovery for the period of which much as 75% of oil production is earmarked each year in terms of recovering the cost of ExxonMobil's investment, and folks are concerned about that. folks are also concerned, those of you joining us from around the world, to give you a sense of why some of the folks are out here. They're concerned that there isn't full coverage insurance for some of these drilling, and in the likelihood that there's anything negative that really and truly happens, that anything negative happens, people are concerned that we may not get enough, we may not get a good deal in terms of what, for instance, if you have an oil spill, if you have an oil disaster, the amount of money that cleanup entails, if we are to bear that as a country, we could see ourselves in dire straits. So they're concerned that there isn't full coverage insurance where such issues are concerned. And so that is why you're hearing some of the chants you're hearing behind me. Again, I am, and we are, our podcast Below the Belt, we are today at Ground Zero. We are just off of the facade of the Guyana Marriott, located in Kingston with the Atlantic Ocean to the north and the city to the south. There are a number of police officers out here. Everybody's calm. The protesters are all here and they're revved up, they're fired up, and they are ready to go, guys. They are ready to go. And let me tell you something, we're happy to be out here too. We are happy to be out here, lending our voice to what is happening, lending our energy. You got to talk the talk and you got to walk the walk. And we never saw a protest that we didn't like. We never saw a protest that we didn't like, guys. And some of the placards, I just want to read a couple of the placards for you. One of the placards being held by some lovely ladies says the oil company, in one instance, the oil companies are killing our ocean. We must stop them. Another one of the placards says the oil companies are killing our oceans again. Stop them. Very, very strong words. And I want to talk with one of these ladies who I have with me about why she's out here and about why she's making her voice heard. Talk to us.
Hi, good.
Let us know your name and why you are out here having your voice heard.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eslin David, the middle name. Okay, why I'm out here, I'm standing up for my rights, my grandchildren rights, the old people rights, everybody rights I'm out here for. And I think it's right. I think it's right that the president supposed to look out and see what is going on to the country. The oil gone up, the rice gone up, the sugar onto plantain. Plantain is $260 a pound. And we cannot stand up. Even to the dog food that we used to buy for $100, it's $260 now. Where we are heading to. And we are standing here concerning the oil money that is shipping to other places. Plus, we have people coming to our country and get more rights than we are living in this country. I am standing for my rights today. Thank you.
Fantastic. Folks, things tight. That's what the folks are telling us here. Everything has gone up, even dog food. Even dog food, like the dog's gonna die now. Guys, so many of you have already shared our live broadcast, and we're asking you guys to do that so that others can get the valid and credible information. And the folks here are really energized. They're saying enough is enough, and they want some action. They want some movement. They want change. They want this PSA to be revised, this production sharing agreement, among some of the other issues we have been highlighting as well. Folks, I have a brother who is here, and I want to ask him his thoughts. I want to ask him his thoughts on what's happening here. He is here lending his voice. You're going to know this individual, Guyana. You're going to know him, but I'm going to ask him nonetheless to introduce himself. I think this is the first time we're going to have him on our podcast, Below the Belt, and I'm so privileged to have him. He's going to introduce himself and tell us why he's lending his voice out here as well.
Thank you very much, Cheryl, and welcome to all who's watching the broadcast presently. I'm Odo Best. I'm very famous with the movement of civil unity. I'm always thinking and always looking out for the poor man and the man in the street. This situation out here that we have to stand up for is a poor man's issue, is a national issue, and it's a national cry out. It is clear from as recent as last week, where our budget was passed in excess of $500 billion Ghana dollars. And when we look at the allocations, we can see 80% going to contract work and other stuff. And this is clearly setting themselves up to steal the Guyanese money. And there's nothing in the in it for poor people. When we look what they're actually giving to poor people, we look at what they give pensioners $3,000 more. We look at what they give the public assistance of $2,000 more. And for those who don't understand what that kind of money means, it means $10 US and $20, $30 US. It really doesn't mean anything much. So we're in a crisis situation. And we intend to send a strong message to this administration who seem very much set on robbing us and push us down the drain that we are not going to have it. And this, we have built a platform here. We want persons to come here and stand alongside us and send a message to these fools because they think that we are fools. But when we check it, they are fools because you trying a stunt like this in the 21st century. Are you sending a stunt like this in the 21st century where people are so enlightened and with the introduction of social media and other platforms, we can get information at the click of our fingers? They got to be foolish to try something like this. And we plan to take them to task for it. We're not going to settle until we get what we want. And poor people need to live properly. I was privileged to live in the Middle East for a period of time. And those countries are all rich countries. And I see the way Oman and those countries been dealing with their people. Everybody had a stake. And what these people seem to be doing, they seem to be marginalizing the people. They're mostly focusing on Indo-Guyanese, and they're not focusing on the Amerindians so much, they're not focusing on the Afro-Guyanese so much, and they're trying to create another split to strengthen the cause. We cannot be bought. And I want my Indo-Guyanese to understand what they're trying to do. Because what you think they're giving you is something substantial is still not nothing. Because for the sugar workers who receive $250,000 Ghana, they can barely start a business. The small business who's giving us money to start a business, they give you $500,000, double that amount. So you're stealing that in. So come out there and let us fight. And let us understand that we can have it. Thank you very much.
Love that. The one and only, folks, one and only for all of you who are joining us around the world. We are here at the Guyana Marriott on the facade of the Guyana Marriott Hotel. We are witnessing here the Guyanese people lifting their voices, wanting a difference with concern this oil contract, this oil and gas arrangement we have with ExxonMobil, and folks asking for change. I'm certain you can hear them in the background. I can see Mr. Glenn Lal of Kaito News is in a little way off from where I am. I'm going to try to get his attention just now and try to get some views from him. In addition to the other folks out here, hundreds of persons are out here, and again, making their voices heard. This protest is happening against the silhouette of the International Energy Conference and Expo that is being held there, compliments of the installed PPP regime. And visiting is the Ghanaian president, Mr. Addo. We have visiting the Surinamese president, Mr. Santoki. Also, we have the Barbadian Prime Minister, Motley, is here. We have Mr. Wood, the CEO of ExxonMobil, and hundreds of persons are out here. The weather seems to be holding quite fine. It's a little hot. And the guys are gonna give me a cue what that weather is and what it feels like outside and all of that. But it's a little hot here, but just perfect. Better than it being raining. I'm certain the protesters here can appreciate that. I see one of the placards read, Guyanese demand renegotiation of Exxon deal. Among the other placards that they have here, I see another placard being held by a gentleman with a Guyana flag. Almost everyone here has a Guyana flag in their hand. Another placard reads, Guyanese demand full coverage insurance, part of what we were talking to you about. And there's another placard that says, Guyana is only poor because her leaders are corrupt. Wow. Well, we know Sugate will cause our citizens to feel this way. Sugate will cause our citizens to feel this way. Again, that placard reads, Guyana is only poor because our leaders are corrupt. That is what he's saying. And I'm going to step across the road to ask this gentleman why he's out here and why this is the text on his placard. Guyana is only poor because our leaders are corrupt. Sorry, if you could give us your name and tell us why you are standing out here, lending your voice for change on this oil and gas deal.
My name is Gregory Allen. I'm out here because we have our oil industry, where ExxonMobil is infiltrating. Our people are not getting anything from it. Our leaders are taking bribe money from ExxonMobil, full in their pockets, while the nation is left to starve. Our food prices are up. Our taxpayers are not getting nothing from oil. Our old people are not getting anything. The ExxonMobil and their partners are fetching away everything from us. So when they're gone with everything, they will leave us 3 times more than we come out from day one when we come through our struggles. Our foreparents struggled for us to come this far, for our leaders that we duly elect, and some that we don't even elect are training us. They're bleeding this nation. They're bleeding their people. And now today at this conference, they're here with the boss for ExxonMobil, who's collecting $25 million US a month for his salary or a year, whichever one, that excess, and where it's coming from, our oil industry. Not to suffice, they sell out the whole country, they sell out all around the world. The businesses are the way going to come to Little Guyana, a nation of not even 1 million people, and we cannot have what belongs to us. We are here, so I'm here just for my fair share. And every Guyanese should be here to represent and demand our fair share of our oil.
I love that. I love that. Here's this gentleman asking for his fair share, for a fair shake and a fair share for the Guyanese people. And I love that because this is the production sharing agreement that we're basically asking for them to revise. And to hear this gentleman here saying he wants a fair share for the Guyanese people. He wants a fair share. We have a 2% royalty we're grappling with. We have the comprehensive insurance issue we're grappling with. Among the other things, and we didn't get into the Natural Resource Fund Act yet. We didn't get into the Exxon, the Natural Resource Fund Act as yet. The folks are asking out there, who is Sue? Who is Sue? We haven't gotten in yet to the failure of the current administration to audit the $9 billion claimed expenses by ExxonMobil. We haven't touched on that as yet, folks. And again, quite recently in an editorial by Starbuck News says there's been poor governance. Poor governance, poor governance is evident on the government's part, considering that the Regulatory Commission, this is the Petroleum Commission, the Regulatory Commission for the petroleum sector is still to be established, despite the fact that production began at a second platform. And that production began on a second platform quite recently. And now the folks have gotten my attention because they started asking, who is Sue? Who is Sue? I have with me, folks, I have Mr. Glenn Lal. I'm watching him. I'm watching his placard. It says, your leaders are corrupt and sold us out for nothing. Glenn, could you give us some thoughts on I know much of what is happening here is because of you, because you've taken this issue very seriously and you have been asking for a fair share, as one of the guys just told us, a fair share and a fair shake. Folks, I have with me Glenn Lal, and I'm going to try to get his thoughts on what's happening today.
My fellow Guyanese, this country has found enormous wealth that can make every citizen of this country live like kings and queens. The wealth that this nation has unearthed, the international financial institutions, all of them cannot take their lips, their tongues, and their eyes off of this country. So massive that we should not be in the streets demonstrating for a fair share. I have been talking about this thing since 2015 when we discovered oil. I have had a weekly program, radio program, in which Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I talk so much on what's happening with this oil industry. And I am surprised that today, having called a protest to demand a fair share of their own wealth, people have not turned out. But I hope in future they will get on board and they will come out to fight. Because let me be very frank and straightforward with you guys. If you leave it to the leaders of this country, both the PPP and the PNC, to defend and to protect, you, the citizens of this country, with a good share of your wealth, you have to think a million times. Today, we are hosting this protest, and not a single member of the PPP or the PNP is here to fight for their own constituency. Today we carried the lead story in the Kaicho News. And we are saying that we are paying. We are part of our oil money that we received from 2015 to now is paying for a 4-day oil conference. And do you know that the two most important things on the agenda of this oil and gas industry is not there? Full cover insurance and a renegotiation of the contract. Despite all the leaders are calling, matter of fact, President Ali, months before the 2020 election, he said it very clear that all these contracts must be revised and renegotiated for the benefit of all Guyanese. What happened now? He is sitting at the helm. Jagdeo spoke about a renegotiation of this lopsided oil contract Tratman Sainanto. What happened now? What? Have they sold us out? We need to know. The nation cannot. We have too many children, too many mothers, too many fathers can't even put food in their children's lunch kit. Come on. We got the public servants who can't pay rent, who can't pay their light bill, their water bill. That's how hard thing is in this country. Move around, go around and speak to them, and you will hear the dilemma they find themselves in. One of them trying to move out, come to me begging for help to help her with her advance rent. She can't afford $40,000 because the landlord is asking for 2 months advance rent. This is the kind of dilemma. This is the situation our people face, not in this massive oil wealth, man. Nobody should be living like beggars in this country. Why? Why are we living like this? Look, all these, we don't have insurance. And I'm going to repeat this thing again, my friend, because the Guyanese people seem not to understand the importance of full cover insurance. I am saying that the 2% royalty we get in, we should throw that back in their faces and say, guys, give us full cover insurance. Off Nigeria, they had an oil spill last week. They're in trouble without insurance. That oil spill cleanup will cost in excess of 20 billion American dollars. You know where Nigeria is today? They were at financial institutions at IMF and the World Bank 3 months ago, begging for $11 million, $11 billion US dollars to help them fight COVID and take them out of poverty. That's a crisis Nigeria is in. And Nigeria is the largest African oil producing country in the entire continent of Africa. And that's where they are today, after 100 years of producing oil. Where you think Guyana will be with that, and they got a better deal from us than us. Where do you think Guyana will be 50 years from now? With this crap we settled for. We will be worse off. We will be going through death after death after death, year after year. And it is clear. It is very clear. The budget, last year we took 100 billion. This year we took another 100 billion. Plus we take 126 billion, all the oil money to spend for them to keep out 3/4 out of it. Where is Guyana going, brother? The two most important things, full cover insurance and renegotiation, is not on a 4-day oil conference in Guyana. No, man. In Peru, we carry the story today on the front page. In Peru, they had an oil spill of less than 12,000 barrels of oil, my friend. You know what happened? The government said yesterday that the Repsol, the oil company in Peru, is not standing up to their end of the bargain. That's how important full cover insurance is. And I want every Guyanese to understand that. You can be living on the street. God forbid you have a massive oil spill out there. And nobody doing anything. Nobody's saying anything about it. Why? Look, they're going to pass. We already get raped, robbed and sodomized in Lisa 1, Lisa 2, and the Payara project, the third project. Now Jagdeo is going to give them permission for a fourth project. Now, guys, you need to understand as Guyanese that if Jagdeo hold this fourth project back, you know the billions this country can rake in American dollars overnight? Yeah, man. He can hold it back and demand that high interest rate we are paying to the oil companies with the oil loans they're taking, that can cut out. He can demand to remove the 2-year time limit ExxonMobil set for we to check them bills. Could you believe this thing, man? You have a business. Me and you have a business, and you set in time limit for me to check the bills you want me. What kind of crap this is, man? What kind of insanity this is? Jagdeo can use this fourth project to remove the money, the billions of US dollars we're paying on exploration costs. Come on. You find fish in the trench that you've been paying the people to look for. You don't find fish. You continuing paying people to search in the same trench for fish. Nah, man, you gotta be a moron to do that. And this is what Jagdeo is allowing. He's paying for these people all those drilling and searching for oil. We are paying hundreds of millions for those holes that they're drilling there. No country on earth pays these things. None. Suriname, tell them plain, that is your own expense if you want to come look for oil in my country. Why Guyana is paying these things? Huh? I want you guys to remember, and now don't forget that 3 things oil companies, whenever they come to your country and they find your wealth, they do to the nation. They first line the pockets of all the politicians. Then they create chaos and confusion. And while we fight among ourselves, they're fetching away your wealth by the boatloads and your gold by the plane loads. That's where we are. That's where we are. How much more are we going to sit back? How much more can we take as a citizen, having seen what has happened throughout the African, Asian, and the rest of the oil countries around the world? What are we going to do, man? It's clear as day as to what the oil companies did to those countries. Why are we allowing it now? No, we have to stand up and carry this fight. Carry this fight to the end until the people of this country get their rightful share. And I will be there. I will be there. I don't need to do this. I am talking to you guys defying my doctor's advice to stay home because I suffered a mild stroke. Come on, I don't need to do this. I don't need to do this.
Folks, coming back to you. The publisher of Kaito News, the man himself who's been on the forefront forever on this issue of getting a fair share of our oil and gas. Publisher of Kaito News Radio, and all that good stuff across the other side. General, who is responsible too for much of what is happening out here. Today, folks asking for a fair shake for the Guyanese folks. I am reading another placard that says Guyanese demand renegotiation of ExxonMobil deal. Another placard that says that these the political parties combined have sold out this country.
He sold us out. We are Guyanese part of our people, man.
Folks, I have with me another gentleman who is going to share his views and why he is out here today representing and asking for a change with this oil and gas deal that we have.
I'm a Guyanese first and foremost. All Guyanese deserve a fair share. Our leaders have sold us out. Our wealth is going to the richest 1% of white America. ExxonMobil shareholders are not poor black people in Brooklyn. They're the richest white Americans living in Long Island and living in Manhattan. Our money is going to them. Billions of US dollars of our oil money is going to the richest 1% of white America, who is on their private jets, drinking champagne, eating lobsters with our money. And the Guyanese single parents don't have enough money to put food on their children's table. It's a Guyanese issue. This is a Guyanese issue. It doesn't have race. It doesn't have political party. It's a Guyanese issue. We have to support our brothers and sisters and fight for our brothers and sisters. This is a Guyanese thing. We demand our fair share of our wealth. It's our birthright as Guyanese citizens. We are born here. Every single Guyanese deserves a fair share of this enormous wealth that we have found in Guyana. All the oil, all the gold, all the diamond, bauxite, silver, everything we have in Guyana, a part of it belongs to the people. If we don't come out and fight for it, the government is not going to give it to us. We demand that they give the Guyanese people a fair share.
Fantastic, fantastic. There you have it, folks. Glenn Lassett himself outlining much of our discussion that the renegotiation of this ExxonMobil deal is off the agenda for this 4-day conference. The full coverage insurance, in case anything should happen, anything untoward, and oil spill, some disaster in the oil and gas sector, we're fully open, folks. We are fully open to pay for it ourselves as a country. And there, some very strong opinions on the ground here, some very, very strong opinions on the ground. Again, that there should be change where this oil contract is concerned. The PSA, as you know, was signed in 2016. Folks saying that they want a better deal than the one we have had. We have enough leverage to get a better deal from ExxonMobil, but they're saying that the government, they corrupt, the wicked, stink, wicked and dirty. That's what the folks out here are saying. We look as though the weather is going to turn a little bit, but we're going to be here, boots on the ground. This is what boots on the ground means, folks. We sometimes we got to come up social media and be boots on the ground. But we get to do both today. We boots on the ground and we're still on social media. And we hope more of you are going to join us. I have a young lady who is joining us, and she's going to tell us a little bit about why she's out there. Maybe she can offer her name as well and tell us why she's lending her voice to this protest on the facade of the Guyana Marriott, where the International Energy Conference and Expo is being held.
Well, my name is Fiona Harris, and I'm out here today because, I feel sorry so God put all these resources for every one of us to enjoy, right? And it's only benefiting certain people in this country. And I'm out here today because I have no job, and right now I'm going low on food stuff in my house, and I just want we forget a little bit more money, more than just give us our fair share, because right now I have nothing to cook in the house. The food prices are so expensive, and we need some money right now in the home.
Excellent, excellent. And again, her placard reads, the oil belongs to Guyanese, not ExxonMobil, the CNOOC and Hess. The oil belongs to Guyanese. That's the placard she's holding, and she has a Guyana flag in her hands. You heard her say, things tight home, things tight. And people should be, and they hardly got food to cook, right? And they want something out of this deal. Here we're talking about, wealth transfer, right? We here talking about wealth transfer, folks. The people want money. Not only hearing, it's the second oil and all of that, but people want money. They want that translate to something. They want it to translate something. So I'm watching a fella here wearing a lovely, is this orange, whatever, guys are no color. But it's a t-shirt that got a big text on it that says, we want 50% royalty, right? And then it has two options, yes or no. Demand 50% royalty, yes or no. And he has ticked the box. Yes, he wants 50% royalty. He can offer his name if he wants, but I want to know why this young man is out here offering his voice to this protest. Tell us, sir.
Yes, sir. I come here to seek betterment for the Guyanese people. The Guyanese people need a job, and they need everything we give to them in Guyana. Now, this government, the president himself, told us that he will make we walk on sponge. That today we walk on sheer pimpler. The food can't walk on anything. They take these people from overseas, ExxonMobil, and they give them the best quality we could have. And we people in Ghana suffer. The children suffer. Tell me, to my God, man, you give the old age pension $3,000 per month. That only $100 per day, bro. What would the children eat? What would the people have? Cost of living Ghana double body. And we appreciate you as a brother. You come around, you support us, and I appreciate you. You will all, God bless you. I welcome you to give me an option to say something. This morning we are coming, and the exile, if you see people the man is have, the man say one of the best people have in Ghana. Them none of pay none of pay tax. But if me draw $100 from the government today or the state, tax are cut for me, and we are living in this country to do our best, but the best will come. They say vote when election comes. They must say vote, so you go win this, you go win that, and just to win, all of them pocket are so big, and we pocket are empty. We pocket are poor. When in the midnight time, you and your wife sit on talk. We are going to tell you what little we get to eat on tomorrow. When the day done, you got to seek something more to make a day. Every day is paisa done. You can't go for that.
But I think he said it best when he said that they promised to walk on sponge, but you're walking on pimpler right now. And again, his T-shirt is a banner that says, demand 50% royalty, yes or no. And he has said, yes, 50% royalty as against the 2% that currently obtains. He says 2%. Thank you, my brother, for your contribution, folks. It seemed as though it was going to rain just now, but the rain seemed to have relented. I think it's because the folks are out here in high spirit. I have another gentleman that I'm stepping towards. Again, his banner reads, his placard reads, Guyanese demand renegotiation of Exxon deal, and he has his Guyanese flag in his hands. He's patriotic, he's fired up, and he's ready to go. Let us know why you're out here, sir.
Because I want to see renegotiation of the contract. I want to see pensioners get the fair share, and I want the civil servants who they denying a raise the pay, 70% should be given the 7%. I don't like what's going on in this country in a whole. Our politicians are hugging and holding ExxonMobil's hand, and that's what ExxonMobil love. They love to hold politicians and get them in the pocket, and the people go to wherever they can go. But we can't make ends meet in this country. We're trying, and we're not making ends meet, and we have oil, we have billions of oil. Now, we want ring fencing. That's another thing. Ring fencing, we want that negotiated, and we want to have those people, the insurance, because if we spill oil here, it's going to go all along the Caribbean, all those beaches, we would have to pay to clean it up. And to pay to clean things up is billions of dollars. ExxonMobil's got rid of the ship since Exxon Valdez incident in Prince William Sound. And they don't have any ships, they don't own them. They charter, and that's a smart thing to do because they're not responsible for any spill. So we must wise up, get our insurance right, so our neighbors could feel comfortable. We need money. We need money. This whole thing is wrong. Whole thing is wrong. The contract is all wrong. Since Janet Jackson signed the 1% thing, it messed the whole country up. And we knew we had oil. Some of us who smart knew that we had oil. But Shell probably got paid off to say that they didn't get no oil when they came down here, that they don't see no oil, signs of oil. But Shell is what messed us up in the first place. And then Janet Jackson go and sign an agreement for 1%. That's nonsense. I couldn't see it with the oil agreement. So all Guyanese deserve renegotiation. That's what I'm saying here today.
Another citizen, folks, another Guyanese citizen raising his voice says he's dissatisfied that Janet Jagan signed that deal much earlier in the PPP administration for 1%. It was revised to 2%. They're asking for 50%. They say we have enough wealth, we have enough leverage. They want we want them. And so they should pay up at least 50% royalty. That's what the folks are out here in the hundreds saying. And, the only question is, why aren't you guys out here as well raising your voice? I'm seeing another placard that reads, why is Jagdeo silent on Exxon renegotiation? Why is Jagdeo silent on Exxon renegotiation? That is what his placard reads. And folks, those of you who are now joining us, I just want to advise you that you aren't lost. You are actually, we are actually joining you guys outdoors this afternoon rather. We're on the facade of the Guyana Marriott here in Downtown Georgetown, Kingston, where the International Energy Conference and Expo is being held, and we are coming to you live with the views of those persons who are protesting on the outside of this quote-unquote International Conference and Expo. And some of the folks, this is the International Energy Conference and Expo, themed charting a sustainable energy future. A gentleman has just given me a bottle of water, and I want to say thank you, my good sir. And his T-shirt reads, change all foreign contracts, yes or no? And he has ticked yes. His beautiful T-shirt has that text on the front, change all foreign contracts, yes or no? He says yes. And again, for those of you joining us, we are coming to you from the International Energy Conference and Expo Guyana. We are on the facade of the Guyana Marriott Hotel where that conference is being held. And we are in Kingston, downtown Georgetown. There's the lighthouse to the south. There's the Marriott to the north, and the Atlantic Ocean beyond the Marriott. And here we are, folks. Here we are, 4th Street, Kingston. 4th Street, Kingston, coming to you live. 4th Street, Kingston, coming to you live on the periphery of this International Energy Conference and Expo. And we know, for those of you who are now joining us, we have at this conference today some international folks. We have Mia Motley from Barbados, Prime Minister of Barbados. We have Chandrika Prasad Santoki from Suriname. We have Nana Akufo-Addo from Ghana. Those are some of the headliners this morning. And I think I did hear, both Addo and Santoki, and even Mia Motley, who I think outlined in the clearest of terms that the people has got to benefit from the oil and gas explorations and production and so forth. The people, it all comes down to the people. It all comes down to the people. The weather here, guys, the weather here is iffy. I'm advised that it's 27 degrees outside. It feels like 2700. But it's pretty good. It's better than it's raining. Even though the rain looks like though it's just on the borders, ready to come over, ready to come down. It's 27 degrees outside where we are in downtown Georgetown, but it feels like 30 degrees. And the guys are advising us that it's cloudy skies into the afternoon. Cloudy skies into the afternoon. And I dare say it's cloudy, but dark skies over the Guyana Marriott as the folks are out here lending their voice, hoping and asking for renegotiation of the Exxon oil deal. Hundreds of persons are out here. And I think everybody here has a Guyana flag in their hand, again, showing their patriotism and wanting nothing but the best for our country. And I get the sense here that it's not a sense so much of a political divide, but just wanting what is best, And folks here, a variety of folks we have already spoken to, in addition to Glenn Lal, the publisher of Kaitro News, of Glenn Lal Radio, and all the good stuff, as I said, on the other side of the media spectrum in Guyana. And we are here, folks, not only bringing the latest to you as it happens here, but also boots on the ground and lending our own voice and support to what's happening here as a broadcast network, folks. And, there's lots of traffic here as well in 4th Street, Kingston. Lots of traffic. I'm trying to navigate the protesters and either moving to or from the general area of the Guyana Marriott here. 4th Street, Kingston. Again, we are on the facade of the Guyana Marriott. We have, I think, the Power Distributors Corporation just behind us. I think this used to be PDI. I don't know if they've changed with the new administration. But we're in 4th Street, bordered by the lighthouse on one side and the Guyana Marriott on the other side. And this is the action down here. Folks in the hundreds are lending their voices. And guys, I encourage you. Lots of you could be on the ground here. Lots of y'all can be boots on the ground here. I encourage you who can to ensure you share, or all of you rather, who join us via social media, guys, to share our live stream. And we want to see those emojis as well. Forgive me, guys, if we can't give you guys a shout out in our usual fashion and form across our programs and network. But we're on the ground here, and we want to keep a sharp eye out. I think the guys have taken a little pause from the chanting and refreshing themselves with some water. And we're so grateful to have been given a bottle ourselves. And there's a fantastic gentleman having another bottle. I've just got another bottle of water, and even though I've gotten 2 bottles of water, now I'm not drinking my water. I'm minding my own business. I'm minding the business of the folks here and what's happening, and lending my own voice as well as an individual to this effort here. We want what is best for this country. I think each and every one of us want nothing but the best. But here we are. The government seems intransigent, even though itself, when in opposition, the installed PPP regime made a pledge to the Guyanese people that they were going to renegotiate this contract. And here they are, 18 months later, they've already signaled that they are not going to renegotiate this contract. Right? Perhaps it's too sweet. It's too sweet. They crushed the opposition down when they were in the opposition. We didn't get a fair deal and all of that. And 18 months later, perhaps, the jury seems to be still out. They have said specifically that they have no interest in renegotiating this contract. Yet folks are out here hoping, because we know at the end of the day, it is the will of the people. It is the voice of people. And there's even an adage about that, folks. The voice of the people is the voice of God. And so hundreds of folks are out here making their voices heard. And again, this is the International Conference and Expo happening. It opened this morning at the Guyana Marriott here in Kingston. And the guys are out here making their voices heard, lifting their placards, and hoping to make a difference. And in lots of instances, it's not for themselves, It's not for themselves, but other folks. For other folks, it's the future generation. It's the future generation. Guys, the Trinidad, I'm surprised that the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Keith Rowley, isn't here. I'm surprised by that as an oil-producing nation. We can learn a couple of things from them, right? But as the Trinidad say, lots of us gone through, right? We all have gone through. It's the young ones we got to cater for. And again, reading some of the placards here again, I see a guy in a neon pink T-shirt with the words emblazoned across the front. Demand more royalty. Demand 50% royalty. That's the words he has blazing across the front of it. Demand 50% royalty. Another T-shirt says, change all foreign contracts. And placards that read, we demand our fair share. People's power. No Exxon robbery. People's power. No Exxon robbery. Lots of T-shirts out here. The police are at one end of 4th Street, closer to the Guyana Marriott. I think there was form a barricade if anyone tries to push past that. And also, the protesters are more south of the Guyana Marriott, closer to the lighthouse. And I think I have a gentleman here who's going to share his views with us. He could tell us his name if he wants to, and tell us why he's out here with his T-shirt also emblazoned with demand 50% royalty, yes or no. Yes or no. Here he is.
Yeah, I just want to send a message to this install regime. When they were campaigning, they condemned this oil deal, and they said that they will renegotiate. So far, they're unable to do it. They've failed the Guyanese people. And I want to say direct to Bar Jagdeo, a message to him that his sins will find him out. That is the most important thing I want him to know today. Thanks.
Thank you, my brother. Again, the message is very strong. Your sins, all who wicked, pink, and dirty, your sins are going to find you out. Guys, we promise we bring you the valid and credible information. We are here with the people themselves at Ground Zero, getting that information to you, and it's our privilege to do so. We see the police are doing their thing. Again, closer to the Marriott, we're in 4th Street, Kingston. The weather seems to be an ebb and flow of it might rain and then the sun bursting through. A very, very a gray sky overhead, as the guys informed us, cloudy is going to be cloudy skies into the afternoon. 27 degrees outside, but it feels like 30 degrees, and I can feel it 30 degrees. There I am, folks. I can feel that 30 degrees, and wherever you guys are joining us, I encourage you to share the live program or international podcast below the belt so that other persons can benefit from their valid and credible information. We told you guys we have an appetite to get the information for you, and if you partner with us, we'll continue to do that. And here we are. And I just had the good fortune of the guys saying, you know, you got to come out looking respectable. They tell me, don't come out looking like a trench top on a jagabat. So I had to pull on a jacket and so forth. And that's why I tell you, I'm feeling this 30 degrees weather outside. I'm feeling it. But the weather seems so, seems so mercurial above. One time it seems as though we're going to have a downpour. And it actually started drizzling early on. And another time it's brilliant sunshine. It feels as though you got cricket in Guyana. You know, it always tends to be this iffy way. When you got cricket, it feels like it's cricket. Because there's an excitement too. There's an excitement and spirits are high here among the protesters, making their voices heard. And I think they may have taken a little pause to refresh themselves. I got 2 bottles of water out of it. I'm grateful. And even though I'm going to be drinking some water, I mind my own business. I am minding my own business. And the folks want who is too. I'm going to be talking to a couple more of them. But let me do a quick recap for those of you who might be now joining us and wondering what we're doing, guys. We are outside of the Guyana Marriott where the International Energy Conference and Expo is being held. And there are approximately hundreds of protesters who are out here, guys, and they're asking for a fair share of this oil. Well, they're not satisfied with what we have gotten so far, and they want more. If they were satisfied in the past, they're not satisfied currently, and they want more. Again, this conference team is charting a sustainable energy future. But Glenn Lal told us, as we know, that there is no renegotiation on the agenda for the conference. There is no comprehensive insurance coverage on the agenda for the conference. There's only how much money the big boys could make. The big boys, Gumbamba, folks. The Gumbamba is the rest of us. We spoke with protester after protester, citizen after citizen here, who say they want a fair share, they want a fair shake. And attending this conference, we have some international leaders from the likes of Nana Akufo-Addo, the president of Ghana. We have Chandrika Prasad Santoki, the president of Suriname. He's here as well. And we got the Right Honorable Mia Motley of Barbados, Prime Minister. She's here also. We have the CEO and chairman of ExxonMobil, Mr. Darren Wood. He's here as well. Darren Wood, he's here as well. And folks are hoping that there could be consideration for a second look at this oil deal. They feel we have not gotten a fair share. And again, folks, some of the issues our Guyanese folks are looking for, some of the issues that they are looking for, they are looking for reconsideration, folks, within the context of the theme of this conference, charting a sustainable energy future. That the PSA, the power sharing agreement, could be revised. It was the first agreement with oil companies was entered into under the PPP, and they had a 1% royalty. This was revised to 2%. The PSA, the production sharing agreement, was established in 2016 with a 2% royalty. The guys want some more. They say that is paltry. They're also looking to have some kind of a ceiling on this open-ended cost recovery period, where as much as 75% of oil production is earmarked for cost recovery on a yearly basis, right? And then they're saying that Guyana is left with half of the annual 25% oil profit. They're also asking that there should be some ring fencing. All right, there's not a fence in your backyard, but similar. There's not a fence around your house, but similar. They said there is no ring fencing protection in the 2016 PSA. And they're also asking us they're also asking the powers that be, ExxonMobil and the other folks, the powers that be, they're asking for full insurance coverage in case anything goes wrong. We are fully covered and we don't have to use the profit from our oil wells, from the production, to be paying for cleanup, or oil spill, or any other disaster. I think Tablet News quite recently, in a very stinging editorial, says that there is poor government, or rather there is, let me quote directly from the editorial, folks. Quote unquote, poor governance is evident on the government's part, considering that the Regulatory Commission for the petroleum sector, and this particularly is the Petroleum Commission, the Regulatory Commission for the petroleum sector is still to be established, despite the fact that production has begun on its second platform, or at its second platform. And you know, just last Friday, the government told us that they struck second oil. They struck second oil. And that is what the editorial refers to. So they're pumping more oil now, folks. And that has been the contention of Guyanese. Now we pumping, but we ain't feeling it. We pumping, but we're not feeling it. You know, oil pumping every day. And we heard that protester earlier on who said that I ain't got things to eat home. Things tight. And I want my fair share. I want my fair share of this oil wealth. There are lots of folks here, folks. These are the national corporations that are represented at the Guyana Marriott, who are going to be making millions and billions of US dollars off of the Guyanese people. And here we got ordinary citizens saying, oh, what's in it for us? What's in it for us? And wanting only what is due to them as a Guyanese. Because why? They are of the opinion that these oil resources belong to all of us. They belong to each and every one of us. That is the opinion that they express here. And you know what, folks? I know they're right. It belongs to all Guyanese. It belongs to we cheering, and they're cheering. And I got a gentleman who is smiling with me, and I want to know why he's smiling. He seemed very energized, fired up, and ready to go. He seems to be in a boxing mood. He seems to be saying, let's fight ExxonMobil, PVP, let's fight. He's free to give us his name. I'd love to hear his thoughts.
Yeah, I'm Victor Bino. I just been following you, and I just appreciate everything that you've been doing, you know, and the fact that you are enlightening the people. Because when you really check it out, right, when I come out here, and I was asking Mr. Glenn, but I only seen one kind of people out here, right? A class of people I'm seeing out here, and I'm not seeing the other class, you know. And I want people to know that this deal is affecting everybody. It's not just affecting a lower class of people, but it's going to affect everybody. But majority of the low class people, right? So I'm just here in support of what's going on, and I believe that more people should come out and give their support too. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. I think he said it best. Mr. Bino said it best. More people ought to be here. You know, some of we like to stay on social media, and we talk about boots on the ground. We talk about boots on the ground, but it's not really boots on social media. We need boots on the ground. It's a 4-day conference, and we are going to be out here every day lending our voices to what's happening. It's boots on social media, right? We need boots on the ground. boots on the ground, right? It's a difference. You got boots on social media. Most of you got on your bedroom step home and stuff, but it's actual boots on the ground. Put on your Timberlands, your slippers, whatever you got, and be out here. It's a 4-day conference, and these guys are determined to be out here, fired up and ready to go. And this pace and power, these guys demonstrating it, you know. I want to thank those folks who have been part of organizing this demonstration here as we prepare to wrap up our broadcast and our international podcast. You all realize as the day go by, is my accent deepening. And that's the thing, that's the Chinese people. I just get close to the married 20 foreigners there. My accent just kick in. My accent just kick in, folks. To all of you out here, I'm going to wrap up so we can have some water. Ouch. Folks, I got to move up from the marriage. I might understand me soon. The accent gets so thick. So thick, you all will understand me. But it's a great atmosphere out here. The guys are really concerned with this oil and gas management, the oil and gas governance, what is happening. and we're going to be ensuring that we cover it, and we are also part of what is happening. Our voices are added to the mass here, to the hundreds of folks who are out here, lending their voices, saying we need a change. I feel that. So wherever you guys are joining us from around the world, folks, I want to thank you for joining us today. That's going to do it for our time out here. We are again Port Street, Kingston. Just sandwiched between the lighthouse that could use a little fixer up, folks. You know, this is the third oil budget. We could touch up this lighthouse here with little paint and so on for these folks, these international folks, right? We could have touched this up too, but being concerned with it. I told you all here, the people got to where they fix problem. You remember the hole we saw in where's the place? The hole in Rheinveld, right? They see the problem, the pothole. The paint the line along the hole. And then when public starts to complain, they rubber the line. And then when there's more protests like happening out here, then they fix the problem. Right? So we know, right now they got a white line drawn around the White House. The lighthouse. A white line. Alright? The lighthouse. And then they can rub it out. And then when there's enough public pressure, they can give it a fixer-upper. But good to have each and every one of you out here. I'm looking at one of the young professional journalists, Mr. Joseph is passing by. He seems to have been finished for the day. He's drinking his water, minding his own business, passing by. Our brother there. Respect and balance to all the journalists out here doing the work, covering whether it's the international conference or the protesters on this side. Respect and manners to all of them. And guys, that's going to do it for our time here. That's going to do it for our time. So we take it back to the guys in the studio. And they are gonna bring the curtains down for us. They're gonna click basically end broadcast. Thanks for joining us. Pace and power. Share the live stream. That's our time today, folks. Stay safe.